That's a very good volume. Okay, for the first time we have something. Can you hear me well in the back? Yeah? Okay, great. So hello, Crypto Hub. Thank you all for coming tonight. So I would like to know who are the newcomers? Who's here for the first time tonight? Please raise your hand. It's more than two. It's more than two. So good. Welcome. Welcome to Crypto Hub. I'm Duncan, and I'm your host. If I can help you with anything, talk to me. This is cryptohubmalta.org. It's our official website. And here on top, you can see there are all the social links. There is also the YouTube channel with a lot of recordings of the past events. I think downstairs there is also a stand with a QR code. Scan it so that you can join the Telegram group chat. Very important. It's your first time here. Please don't be shy. Talk to everyone. We are here all for two reasons: to learn something new and to meet interesting people. So don't be shy. After the talk session, you'll have a couple of hours you can talk to anyone. Today, it's our 134th event here at Soho. Soho is this building, is a co-working space with services for the business. And we are grateful to them for giving us the opportunity to have this meeting every week. Also, we are thankful to Martia and Artem. They are our barmen. We love them a lot, and they're going to be serving our drinks after the talk session. Speaking of sponsors, we also have WH Partners. This is a very epic partner who's with us since the very beginning. If you have any legal trouble, just go to them, ask for Joe and Galina. They'll find a way to help you out. Same thing with the Bit Research, trading company based in Malta. They are always on the lookout for developers, and tonight it's a night especially focused on development. So if you're looking for a job or you want just to talk to them, Fran is there. You can go and talk to him later on. Now, about tonight. So tonight, it's about blockchain development. Meanwhile, I was reviewing the slides. I noticed that they are a bit hard for. You have to turn it on. Slide it. Great.
Does it work now? All right. Cool.
One at a time. So I was reviewing the slides. They might be a little bit obscure to the vast majority of people. And thinking of blockchain development, I think that the average picture popping up in the head of most of us is like, this developer with a hoodie in a very dark room with a screensavers matrix style. So I think that we will all like to know what is the life of a developer, and Duncan is here tonight, so let's start with him. So where are you from, Duncan?
I just moved to Malta from the United States. I was living in Boston for the last 10 years. Grew up in Central Virginia. So anybody south of the Mason-Dixon line grew up there, knows a little bit about that. Got my programming start at around the age of 8 with my dad's Mac, programming AppleScript to try to get around the firewall that he put in place to keep me off the internet. Then very quickly moved on to C and C++ for robotics programming. Very quickly on, I learned I wanted to be an engineer. So, my goal for, from like 10 till 18 was that I wanted to get into the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, go to school there for some kind of engineering, which I succeeded at. Basically living the dream. I've been back and forth between crypto and AI a couple times now. I think I'm in crypto to stay now, though.
How was life at the MIT?
Well, Boston starts to get truly miserable right about this time of year. So our regular host is, I'm sure, experiencing that right now. Grueling? Oh, no, they're now in New York. Okay. But yeah, grueling, but met a whole bunch of extremely interesting people. Learned quite a bit more from my peers than I ever did from professors. Yeah, and lit a lot of stuff on fire.
And how did you get to the blockchain development? What brought you there?
Well, that's an interesting story. Back in the summer of 2011, I learned about this hot new technology called Bitcoin. And I thought to myself, wow, you know, this is really cool, but all the transactions are recorded publicly on a ledger and everybody can see what everybody else is doing. There's no financial privacy. What if I built a system on top of Bitcoin that, you know, did actually provide some financial privacy? And so I launched a website called blindbitcoin.com, which ran for about 3 months before realized that I did not know what I was doing and got hacked. Fortunately, I did actually have some systems in place, so I managed to wind everything down gracefully, and you know, nobody lost their shirt. But actually, that one came back to bite me relatively recently, because after I shut it down, somebody messaged me and said, "Hey, you know, is the domain available?" And I was like, "Don't bother me. I'm a starving college student. I'm busy with finals. Message me later." That guy turned out to be a Russian money launderer who's now doing 14 years in federal prison, and I had to testify at his trial. That was great.
And I suppose this brought you to security, right?
Yes.
And what's your operating system?
I exclusively run Cubes OS because I do wear the tinfoil hat.
It's a beautiful operating system. I also run it. So I advise everybody who's curious about that to give it a try. One last question before giving you the ground. What is the advice that you would give to students?
I've heard that apparently computer science is now the academic discipline with the highest unemployment rate. So if you're looking to get into computer science, you'd better really mean it, and you better really be good at it. Because if you're just getting into it because you think you can make you know, get a cushy, high-paying job fresh out of college, you're wrong. And what advice would I give to students looking to get into crypto? Find something that you really like and get really good at it, and don't stop until you're better than ChatGPT. Because if you're not better than ChatGPT, you're not getting hired.
So getting the hands dirty.
Absolutely, yes.
So tell us, last question, I lied before. What are you getting your hands dirty with at 0x?
My title at 0x is Principal Smart Contracts Engineer. I'm responsible for all of the on-chain infrastructure. Well, not all of it, a lot of it. And I'm also the primary author for some of our proprietary trading algorithms. So 0x is a decentralized exchange aggregator. We'll get into that more into my slides. And so I'm responsible for making sure that the trades execute correctly and safely on chain, as well as building out some of the algorithms that actually generate those trades based on blockchain snapshots.
Thank you so much. So let's give Duncan a warm round of applause for his speech, Absurd Token Design. Thank you so much. Microphone and clicker.
All right. So today's talk is about a token that I wrote. The token is called FU, which I'm not going to expand, but if you want, you can read it online. You can read it on chain, rather. I got to give you some disclaimers. FU is a terrible token. You should not buy it. It was designed to be terrible. I think that I succeeded at making a token that's extremely terrible, and we're going to go into exactly how terrible it is. If you buy this token, which I do not recommend, you're not going to make money. You're going to lose money. It's a participation trophy. You were dogged enough to actually make a trade on this token. Yeah, don't buy it. Oh, that was the wrong way. Okay, I got to plug my employer. We have two brands. We have 0x API. This is our B2B product for building trade widgets into your dApp. If you're a developer, if you're building an app, if you are building a Telegram trading bot, 0x API will figure out how to get you the best prices on all your tokens, and it has powerful monetization controls if you want to turn trading into a source of revenue for your app. Likewise, Matcha is our B2C product. If you are a trader, if you are a professional trader, if you're just a degen, if you're an ape, Matcha is the place to get your trades executed at the best price without dealing with MEV, and to find the token that you're looking for, get a little bit of basic analysis. Lots of cool features. Give it a shot. QR code. Okay, with that out of the way, let's talk about the token. I put a lot of very bad features in this token. This is a list of some of them. We can't get to all of them today. I'm going to try to give you a little bit of intuition about how each of these bad features work, because what fun would it be if your token, like you said, transfer, and all it did was move your money. So first bad feature is taxes. If you've been in the trenches for a little while, you've probably come across at least one tax token. A tax token is pretty straightforward. If I say send one token, my balance goes down by one token, but your balance only goes up by 0.95 tokens. And what happened to that last 0.05 token? Well, it probably went into, oh, sorry, I'm talking about decimals. Whoops, wrong slide. This slide. There we go. You say send one token, 0.95 goes to the recipient, and 0.05 goes into some sort of community treasury, and it's collected, maybe by the devs. Maybe the protocol has some sort of buyback scheme. There's all sorts of clever ways that people use the token tax to generate revenue, or to do incentive alignment, or all sorts of crazy stuff. I'm going to do some very crazy things with this. Sorry, I forgot to talk about decimals. On the blockchain, nobody uses floating point. Everything uses fixed point, and when you see a fraction of a token, that's actually a fiction shown to you by your wallet. There's no actual accounting going on under the hood there. Whoop, dang it. There we go. Stablecoins have 6 decimals. Weirdo tokens have 12. Most have 18. Some weirdos have 27. I did 35. Because you really need to know about the, 1 pentillionth of a token that you have in your wallet. We're just doing it because we're fun, and we're trying to break things here. This does mean, though, that if I send you some tokens, it makes it look like you have $1 trillion in your wallet. So hit me up after if you want to be a trillionaire. Okay, transfer logic. We talked about taxes. Let's talk about rebases. Rebases is when you get rewards just for holding the token. So if I have 1 token in my wallet today, tomorrow I might have 1.01, and the next day I might have like 1.03. I get some rewards just for holding the token in my wallet. My balance grows over time, and presumably the price stays high, and so you're actually making money. Tokens like staked ether is probably the most common one here, right? If you have 1 staked ether, as the protocol accumulates profits, you get more tokens in your wallet, and then you can redeem all of that for ETH at the end via Lido. You can also have negative rebases. Some protocols use this for like loss socialization. It's pretty uncommon. We're not doing that here because we are going to combine rebase and tax to do something even more evil called reflection. Anybody know SafeMoon? Anybody heard of SafeMoon? Okay, yeah, all right, we got some people who know SafeMoon. SafeMoon was the OG reflection token. So the idea of a reflection token is we take that tax that you're paying, we take that tax and we turn it into a rebase for all of the other token holders. So you get rewarded for holding the token, you get penalized for transferring it, and that penalty is actually the reward. The math that SafeMoon used was flawed, and I fixed it. And it turns out to be extremely complicated. You want to read about it, go read my token. But it gets worse. The moon phase. It wouldn't be fun if I just set the tax rate now, would it? The token, in order to figure out what the tax rate should do, it looks at the phase of the moon. So I can see that the phase of the moon is nearly full right now, and I actually checked what the tax was on the token before starting this talk. It was 0.12%. So we're very nearly at the lowest possible tax. But as the moon gets darker, as we go towards the new moon, the fully dark moon, the tax goes up to 50%. So right now is the time to buy and sell FU, and in 2 weeks you're just going to get absolutely wrecked. So get in while the getting's good. Anti-whale. We can't be having people holding too much of this token. If you buy too much of it, we're going to penalize you. If you have more than 2.5% of the total supply, any more token that you get is automatically drained away. It just spills out of your mouth, you greedy, greedy whale, and it turns into the reflection for everybody else. So if you have too much token, we're going to penalize you, and we're going to send all of your tokens to somebody else. And of course, 2.5% is kind of a lot of token, but it was a fun feature to implement. But it gets worse. We have the crazy balance feature. If I say I have 10 and you say you have 10, that doesn't tell us who has more value, who has more dollar value of FU. Those balances aren't comparable. One person might have a scaling factor of one value, and another person might have another scaling factor. And if you try to transfer between them, you're going to get crazy behavior. And this breaks just about like every single dApp ever. And it's also one of the reasons why it looks like you have trillions of dollars in your wallet if you're holding this token. But I also find that fun. You can take a look at what your scaling factor is later, and you can go in the code. But the bottom line is, you have no idea how much money you have until you go to try and sell it. This is the feature that I really wanted to put in the token, but I couldn't. And by the way, I'm just absolutely floored that ChatGPT managed to make anything coherent with the prompt that I gave it for this. So don't get too held up on that graph. But the bottom line is, some tokens, the tax that the LPs are generating is actually used to front run attempts to sell the tokens. So every time you try to sell it, you actually get a worse price than you think you were going to get. So it pushes you closer and closer to your slippage limit. Kind of an evil feature when you think about it. Okay, so that was all of the terrible things that I've done to this token. And if you want to go deeper on that, find me after, and I'll give you the rundown on exactly how all of those evil things are. I actually did some things that aren't super duper evil to this token. I added some useful token standards that everybody who builds a token should know about, and they should put in their token. We got the token URI. Everybody likes images, right? We got the F and the U, and we stacked them on top of each other to make a glyph that definitely doesn't look like anything else. ERC20 does not have a native way of putting an image in your token. This is how you put an image in your token. And most sane apps will show that image, maybe, with curation. I really hope this passes the censors. ERC 2612, gasless approvals. So one of the major stumbling blocks you've ever seen, you get some new token on a new blockchain and you have no ETH for gas, and you go, heck, how do I sell this? 2612. If you trade on Matcha, by the way, we have automatic 2612 support. So even if you have no ETH for gas, you can still trade. ERC 5805 is for DAOs. So there is actually an FU DAO, or rather there could be an FU DAO. I haven't actually built it yet, but it's possible. The support is built into the token. It does have the features required. But yeah, you want to do on-chain governance, voting with delegation. This is how you do it. And it's a standardized interface, makes it work with all the Open Zeppelin governance modules and all that sort of cool stuff. And lastly, we have ERC 7675. This is the opposite of 2612. This gives you better gas, better user experience, cheaper transactions if you're using a smart wallet as opposed to an EOA. You don't know what the difference is? Ask me later. Yeah, it uses transient storage, which is only available on some blockchains, but this token's on Ethereum, so it's available. Okay, that is all the features that I packed into this terrible token. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I did promise you all an airdrop, so if you're interested in that airdrop, find me after, and you're gonna have to show me your Ethereum wallet, and I'll send you, like, I don't know, like $100 worth of token or something. Good luck trying to sell it, though.
So Duncan, as promised, was really, really quick, and he was right in time. I think we have a lot of time for questions, okay? So, dear Alvaro, I'm coming to you.
So thank you for the talk, first of all. I think that's very funny. I have a burning question. It has to do with the unrealized tax gains. Like, are you trying to fuck up with the tax agent kind of thing?
So the way FU is written, this is another one of the features that I didn't talk about. It actually emits an event when you get like the rebase from everybody else doing all the transfers. And so either helpfully or perhaps not helpfully, right, that counts as a taxable event. And so you can use that event to calculate your gains at every, whenever your number comes up on the top of the queue.
Okay, so I won't be liable for $200 billion.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
$1 trillion of unrealized gains it's a lot of unrealized gains. Good luck. Not tax advice.
Patrick, next.
Hey, so great presentation. You were talking about all the features you added, but did you also look at something like gas optimization, or would I rather say like gas de-optimization? Because I was just thinking about this, like you could even make it more terrible by making the logic more expensive.
Yeah, so FU actually is a reasonably efficient gas consumer, at least for everything that it does, which means it's actually not particularly gas efficient. But another one of the features I didn't tell you about is that transfers actually consume a random amount of gas. So
Nice.
if you're trying to transfer and you think it's going to take like 200K gas, maybe it takes 300K and you just run out of gas. Good luck with that.
Amazing.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Here. Team, right?
Yes. Thank you, Duncan. That was a wonderful presentation. What was your motivation behind the whole project? Why did you do this, and why do you still continue to do it?
So I read a lot of tokens as part of my job. Anybody goes, why can't I trade XYZ token on Matcha? Eventually it bubbles up to me and I get to go read the token and I get to go, why did they build it like that? And so I just wanted to demonstrate all of the terrible things that you can do with the token that makes my life hard and put them all in one token. And it actually happens to be a little bit useful, right? Because like if your dApp works with this token, it's going to work with every token. Because this token is so badly behaved that you have to compensate for so many terrible things that like your dApp, if it works with this, it works. Definitely works.
And the name Matcha sounds pretty cool. Why Matcha? How did you come up with the name?
I have absolutely no idea. That name was chosen before I ever joined 0x. I expect it was trending at the time. I've been told it has something to do with like the matching engine, like you're like matching orders. So it's matching.
Anyone else? So I have a question for you. What if somebody would like to join you in development of this?
Yes. You should check out 0x.org. It was on one of the QR codes that I showed earlier. We actually do have a careers page, and we are hiring for a bunch of back-end blockchain. Here we go. There we go. That one. We have a bunch of open positions if you're interested in tokenization and efficient exchange of tokenized value. If you're an EVM expert, if you're an SVM expert, we're hiring for both of those positions. I expect we have non-engineering roles open as well, but I'm an engineer, so I'm really only aware of the engineering roles. Check it out. We have a careers page. You might have to scroll a little bit.
So thank you so much, Duncan, for this. Very, very happy. Of course, you can ask him as many questions as you want after the talk. Let's wrap it up. I want to remind you of next week. There's going to be an event with Francesco. It's going to be about trading, so traders come here. For this, with this one, I'm going to close the event. Please hit the balcony and get the drink, and see you next week.
And if you do happen to be a trader, this is the QR code for you. Give it a shot. If you actually do like to trade on chain.